8:6. Herefore I will speak of excellent things, and opening my lips shall be right things. You know, we should speak in this way. Oftentimes we don't. But so the only way we truly can speak this way is not by sharing our words, because our words are flawed, our words are tainted oftentimes, but by sharing His word. Okay, Joshua 10:12 through 15. The Lord gave Israel total victory over all 5 kings. That day Joshua said in the hearing of his men, O Lord, make the sun stand still over Gibeon and the moon over the valley of Ajalon. The Lord heard Joshua's prayer. He made the sun and the moon stand still until Israel had totally defeated all 5 armies. All this is recorded in the book of Jashar, where it says the sun stopped in the middle of the sky, giving Joshua an extra long day. Book of Jashar may likely just be a historical account. It's also mentioned in 1 Samuel, a historical account of a time period, not theological book in any way, because if it was, I believe it would be included in the scripture, but it's kind of like the chronicles of such and such king. Well, that was what the king had his scribe personally pinned down, as while scripture is what God had pinned down. So God has the sun stand still for this period of time. The reason why was because if the sun went down, the battle would end. They were winning. So the sun staying up would ensure their victory that day, which God does. Never in the history of man has this been a day like this, when God of heaven listened to a man and slowed the rotation of earth to help his people defeat their enemies. There was no doubt in any man's mind who the God of heaven was, and that He was on the side of Israel. You know how great it is for this to have happened. I highly doubt any army of any sort wanted to stand against Israel after this. There would be some foolish enough to try, but this should have been statement enough. Okay, this God they serve controls the sun, the earth, the moon, all of it. Well, and just stood far off and not. And of course, what would happen over time is Israel forgot who their God was. After letting his troops rest, Joshua marched them back to Gilead. When the 5 kings saw that their armies were defeated, they fled and hid in a cave near Makkah to keep from being killed. So these kings would have typically been killed to overthrow and prevent any uprising. The kings and the king's sons were typically killed. Sometimes the whole nation was killed. But this was to show a sign of victory, a sign of overcoming, not just wrath. Although God does not His wrath be shown through Israel here. We as the church are not to display this in any way. However, the Lord will bring us over victories over principalities, evil forces of the world, not people, but more motives behind them, such as greed and lust.